Hey, welcome back to Rapid Flow. Today I have something super cool, brand new to show you. I'm sure you saw a couple of months ago we launched Omniclock, and the most common request was, this is very cool and all, but can you make this so we can use it in the DAW? So that's exactly what we did. This is MiniGRID. This contains exactly the same groove algorithms and per track timing shift that we built into Omniclock, but now available for use with DAW plugins. Let's have a listen, shall we? I hope this gives you a first idea. We're going to go deep into groove creation, track sequencing creation, 9x9 type sequencers. Let's dive in. Okay, so honestly, something that I underestimated for the longest time is the importance of micro-timing, especially in electronic music. As a musician, you tend to play it. I used to be a drummer, you play it by feel, but that's hard to do in the DAW unless you have tools laid out for it. So let me give you an overview of what's going on here and how cool this is. Let's start just with the bass. This is a bass pattern now that is being triggered on Zensphere. Let me bring it up together with this so you can see what's going on. I'm just going to add the sidechain to it just to clean this up a little more, and I'm going to bring in the kick, and I'm going to show you a couple of the cool things we can do with MiniGRID. I've mapped this note to a controller on my desk. Let me show you what I can do with it. Now let me show you what happens if I take this a couple of octaves down. Let's bring in some groove from the hi-hats. All of this is being triggered by multiple MiniGRIDs, by the way. Bring in the snare. So what we've made mappable is the shift, the overall groove algorithm and shuffle. Here you can see all the models are inside from Omniclock, and also these notes and the mute and solo states and everything. So for example, trying different notes now with your bass line is something you can do with a controller, which is just so fun, and I'm so looking forward to using this also. So easy to get different cool ideas. Let's bring in the hi-hats again. And I'm going to add some of the shuffle pattern to the hi-hats. That does sound a lot like Omniclock. It's the same technology, but now done only for in the DAW. I've also mapped the shift to the snare, so I'm able to also shift the snare that I'm playing out of an Ableton rack. Let me show you. If I take you over here for a sec and show you the rack, you see how the note is wandering? It's because I'm tweaking it with a controller. So finding the right snare has now become very easy. Let's get into the snare. Let's first find the right snare that we want. Ooh, I like that. Let's have a listen now to the shift. Let's make it late. Already, that feels so much better. Let me take it out so that you hear the difference. Now it's like, it's too mechanical, it's too straight. Let's bring it later again. So much better. This is really cool to hear with 16 tie. All the shuffles are mapped to one knob. So this is like a super straight pattern now, which is like the default thing that kind of an 808 did. It had no shuffle, but the 909 gave us shuffle. Have a listen. Difference. Let me take the shuffle out again. Now that I've given you, I think, what is a pretty exhaustive demo of what this is, let me walk you through the interface. Now that you've heard it, and I'm gonna tie this up with a proper, more detailed overview of what each sound and everything's doing, but I wanna give you a first overview of what this is. Okay, this is a 4-track step sequencer up to 32 steps in 9x9 fashion, where you can click on and off notes just by clicking them, or you can also drag if you want, it's up to you. And you have 4 tracks which you can mute or solo, and you have shift of the MIDI notes in that track available down to 0.02 millisecond steps. So this can get very granular if you hold shift. You can set the note per track either by dragging here, you can type it in, you can map this. So as you heard before, what I was doing with the sequencer on the bass is super intuitive. You can just tune and test bass notes on a rotary or 2 rotaries, which could go in really interesting directions. And this whole step sequencer was designed to be really fast, really intuitive, and give you a lot of possibilities in a simple interface to get a lot of cool grooves going. So for example, you can set the steps to all kinds of weird things that will loop around your track in a way that's not average standard. You can set the step length to be much finer or coarser, like if you want this thing to move through your track slower. Let me just find a random different snare to show you that a note on event on the grid to a snare sample potentially, and this goes for anything, that is placed exactly at the cut point does not mean it will groove. Honestly, it took me way too long to learn this, but I'm happy to share this with you now. Regardless whether you use this tool or not, this is a very important detail and you'll be able to hear it. And there's a million ways to do this. We just think MiniGRID is a really fast and cool way. But let me take a different snare sample and show you what a difference it can make if you mess with its timing. Something is not right about it. Even though I'm sure the snare is cut correctly, it just does not feel good. Let's fix that. Those 5 milliseconds make a difference. Let's bring it early. That's not bad. Let's take it all the way out. Okay, let's do it one more time with a different sample, just to give you an idea of how important this is and how easy it is if you have a step sequencer that does micro timing shift on its notes, which, are we the first to do this? It can't be. There must be other people doing this. I really hope, but I'm not aware of a sequencer that does this right now. Let us know in the comments, please, if this is, again, a world first. I can't believe that would be the case, but maybe it is. I'm going to show you a different snare. This is like all over the place also. It's not groovy, it's not in the pocket. Let's fix that. Already better. Maybe it needs to be earlier. You can even hear it in like the reverb tails, how it all fits together. These micro timing differences, once you get used to working with tools like this, and really hats off here to the people behind Omniclock, because that's the machine that taught me to listen to this. But once you start listening to music like this and knowing how important this micro timing stuff is for your groove, you wonder how you never heard it before. So if some of this right now you're like, I don't really hear it, practice with this stuff a bit. There's a 45-day fully functional trial of MiniGRID on the shop. Yeah, by the way, we're launching this Thursday, the 13th of August, and there's an intro deal and there's a newsletter deal. But that's not the point. The point is try this. Even if you don't intend to buy it, try shifting your stuff around with the millisecond timing in MIDI before you try to do it on the track of Ableton, which is a nightmare, honestly. Try automating this with a rotary and listen and try to get a feel for how are my hi-hats, how is everything feeling against each other. Another great place that I noticed we could hear this well was on the open hi-hat. So let's see if we can sort that one out a bit also more. And the cool thing about having these variable steps, I could just make a 4-step pattern, for example, to do an open hi-hat, because I don't need anything more than that, right? It's like a super fast way to do an open hi-hat. Chick, one note, ready? Let's mess with this a bit. Let's bring in the kind of harmonic thing I did on the subharmonicon last night. The snare's pretty good, but this hi-hat's not right. Let's fix it. That's better. Let's bring in the 16. Let's pull that forward by the same timing. So much better. Okay, so I think you get the idea. This is in essence a very fast MIDI-mappable step sequencer that's designed for speed and for groove. It has all of our shuffle patterns that you know for Omniclock now available in the DAW like you requested, with all of the shuffle modes and patterns, easy to clear, etc., mute solo, time shift per track, and up to 32 steps. And you can of course send this to multiple destinations, or you can use one per. As you can see, everything that's gray with an M something or other in front of it tells me where that is going to. But you could also map this to a ton of different things. Maybe you want to do your bass line at the same time as like an up plucky chord and they're always playing the same notes. Because the way this is routed, and to prevent port, if you've ever worked with like Cthulhu or these other plugins where you have to map MIDI from one plugin to the next, in case you get lost, it's available directly in the plugin so that you know how to route this. You make a MiniGRID instance, next to it is whatever you want the MIDI to go to, select MiniGRID, set to monitor in, done. But let me show you how it works in real. For example, I have, let's go to the bass line because that one is a nice and juicy one. Here's our bass line. What I basically do is make a MIDI track, put MiniGRID in it. Then on the bass track, I select, which is why the MiniGRIDs are all labeled in a way that I can find them, M bass, right? That's the MiniGRID instance. And in it, just choose, not pre-effects, post-effects, choose MiniGRID. This is the standard kind of weirdo Ableton routing thing to send MIDI around, and just make sure your monitor is set to in. You don't actually need to record enable anything. And as you can see, it's getting this now. You know what would be really cool to try maybe? Let's do that as a last thing, just to give you an idea of the possibilities that we have here. I'm going to take this track shift and this track shift, which are the two tracks that I'm using. I've just mapped them. Let's see how this bass line would feel if we shifted in time against the kick. That's how quick it was to set it up. Let's check this out. I used to have bass lines like this. I even released some tracks with bass lines like this on my first album, You Live and Learn. Let's dial this in. Such a pleasure to do this with a rotary. Now we're talking. So that's MiniGRID. We really hope you will enjoy this. I think it's just become such a useful plugin, and I can't believe it doesn't exist until now. I don't know. Maybe we're crazy. Maybe we're building stuff that's just like super obvious and insane. Let us know in the comments what you think of this. But the only way I'm able to achieve this is by using Omniclock with a hardware sequencer attached to it. I haven't gotten any sequencers in the DAW that can do this. And maybe we've again invented something new in this category, which would be awesome. But I have trouble believing that that is the case. If you know of other plugin sequencers that can do this, put it in the comments because I'd love to know. And if I don't see that in the comments, I'm just gonna have a massive question mark over my head. So yes, this is MiniGRID. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you see the potential of what it can do, how fast it is to not only write drums and melodies and bass lines. I mean, you could use this as an arpeggiator, but just the joy of being able to MIDI map and control shuffle and timing shift of notes and parameters so easily when you're building your groove, and what a difference it makes for how your track will feel. We hope you enjoy it. There's a launch deal active this weekend, now 13th of August, as we launch this. If you're on the newsletter, you're also gonna get a special discount code. And yeah, enjoy using Omniclock sound shuffle workflows in the DAW now. All right, we'll see you on the next video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.